Welcome to A Magical Life, Health, Wealth and Weight Loss. I'm your host, Magic Barclay, lead practitioner at Holistic Natural Health Australia and #1 best-selling author. In this podcast, I aim to give you practical tips on how to accelerate and sustain your health, increase your financial, spiritual and emotional wealth, and to look at something that haunts many of us needlessly, weight loss. In some episodes, I'll have guests available to give you even more tips, but in others, the floor is yours. Drop us a line at A Magical Life Podcast on Facebook and let me know what you would like to know more about. Now, sit back and enjoy, because it is time for you to create and truly discover a magical life. Welcome back to A Magical Life. I'm your host, Magic Barclay, and today I'm joined by Natalie Jurado. Natalie is the founder of Rooted In, a line of therapeutic magnesium-infused moisturizers that actively calm and relax your mood. She is a sought-after thought leader, educator, speaker, and has worked at the forefront of the wellness industry for over 8 years. She's considered an expert in all things magnesium, and her mission is to spread awareness of this powerful mineral, in fact, I call it the master mineral, to all who struggle to live their most vibrant lives. Welcome, Natalie.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on today. I can't wait to talk about my most favorite topic, magnesium.
It's got to be one of my most favorite topics too, so let's go for it. When I have guests on, I always ask them the same 3 questions, and everyone's answers are so vastly different. It's amazing. So here comes your first question. What can your expertise do to accelerate health, not just physical, but also emotional and spiritual health?
That is a wonderful question. So my expertise is in magnesium. Studied it for years and years and years, and it's made a significant impact in my life and the life of those around me. You see, a majority of the population is very, very deficient. Here in the United States, the numbers skew from 60 to 70% of people don't get enough of this key mineral in their diet every single day. So it's a huge problem, very huge problem. And people who don't have enough magnesium, some of the symptoms that you're going to see is everything from headaches and migraines to insomnia and restless legs, muscle cramping and pain, hormonal imbalances, anxiety, and even depression. So there is a lot that goes into low magnesium. So when we're looking at feeling our best, both mentally and physically, low magnesium can really put a damper on our day, how we feel, how we go about our day, and how we experience life in general.
Definitely. Now let's just talk about that a little bit. So I know magnesium affects not only your cellular health, but your moods and disposition. Many people might feel, that kind of Mondayitis, but nearly every day, and that can often be signs of magnesium deficiency. But I also know it plays a key role in pain relief and discomfort relief. Can you just explain those a little bit more and how magnesium does those things?
Absolutely. So magnesium plays a key role in energy production. So oftentimes, one of the first things I hear when people don't have enough magnesium is they're fatigued. Their brain feels foggy. It feels like their synapses aren't firing, like they're not able to kind of go about their day with ease. It also plays a significant role in anxiety. So magnesium activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is the system that's responsible for keeping you calm and relaxed. It also binds to a really important neurotransmitter called GABA, and GABA is responsible for quieting nerve activity and helping the brain calm down. So when those things are not firing the way they're supposed to be, we tend to feel this high stress, high anxiety, go, 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 panicky feeling in our body. On top of that, Magnesium plays a role in sleep because we need that parasympathetic nervous system to start working, especially in the evenings when we're starting to calm down. And we need to have a sufficient amount of GABA so our brain can calm down so that we can fall asleep. And if those things aren't happening, then it makes it very, very difficult for you to be relaxed enough to fall asleep. So, as we all know, sleep has many, 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 many benefits, including making you feel energized, including making you think faster and regulating your digestion and how hungry you are. And so many other key elements are tied back to how much sleep we get. So when we don't have enough magnesium, we'll often feel tired but wired. We're going to feel exhausted. We're not going to sleep enough. And all of that impacts our mental health on a deep, deep level. And then in terms of physical impacts, magnesium plays a role in inflammation. So studies show that when you get enough magnesium in your body, inflammation actually decreases. There was a 2017 study that showed that people supplementing with magnesium caused a significant decrease in their CRP levels. And that's an inflammation marker that's often found in your blood. So we definitely see this interesting correlation between magnesium and inflammation. And of course, we know inflammation is closely tied with pain.
It is. Now, look, we talk wealth here as well, not just financial, but personal and emotional wealth. So, what are your top 3 tips to creating wealth?
To creating more emotional and spiritual wealth is what I'd love to talk about. It's funny, my whole journey going through what I went through, I dealt with all these health issues and all sorts of, insomnia, anxiety, and panic, and all sorts of health issues. And I went through our medical system, and there weren't any answers for me until one day I had this like divine tap on the shoulder. And it was almost as if God was saying, "Hey, pay attention. You need to look into this." And he kind of guided me through a turn of events to magnesium, which put me down this amazing journey that I'm on now. So I'm a big believer in listening to those taps and listening to those messages and quieting your brain down long enough so that you can listen. So my tips would definitely be along the lines of find time to quiet your life, quiet your brain, quiet everything around you so that you give space to really listen, not just to your body, but to your spirit, so that you are able to really, really grow and catch those messages as they come along. The other thing that I learned on my journey is that after meeting with all these doctors and all these specialists, they all came around and told me, "Hey, you're normal. There's nothing wrong with you." And that was the most frustrating thing, to be dealing with all these symptoms and then be told that they're all in my head. There's nothing wrong with me. So I'm a big believer in not settling for somebody else's normal. So if somebody tells you, "Hey, this is normal, you're supposed to feel like this," if you do not agree with that, come up with your own normal. And I mean that not just with your health, but your life. If things aren't feeling right, or you're living a lifestyle that does not resonate with what you want and what you want to see in your life, then change it. Do what's normal for you.
Wow, there's some great tips there. Now, Natalie, we talk about weight loss here too, and many people battle their weight quite needlessly. So, what are your top tips on this journey? And have you battled your weight before? And if so, how did you lose it?
Great question. So, yes, I've absolutely battled weight on and off throughout the years, like many of us have. And I've always been a believer in eating from the earth, eating as much unprocessed food as possible, and restricting your portion sizes to a regular portion, what is supposed to be a portion for whatever goes on your plate. I'm a big believer in weighing your food before your meals. That's what I do to personally maintain my weight. But magnesium actually plays a really interesting role in weight loss as well. See, magnesium impacts your hormones, specifically insulin. So we know that insulin resistance is a huge, huge problem, especially when it comes to weight loss. And magnesium promotes healthy estrogen clearance as well, by supporting it's a specific enzyme called the COMT enzyme in the liver. Magnesium supports that enzyme and allows your liver to get rid of excess estrogen, which can lead to estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance is closely associated with insulin resistance and with weight gain. So magnesium plays a vital, vital role in hormones and insulin, in all of that.
Now, in our next episode, I'd love you to come back and talk all things magnesium. But for now, we love freebies. What can you offer the listeners and where can they find it?
So I love magnesium and I love the science behind magnesium. And so what I did is I compiled years of research into an easy to read 25-page guide that tells you everything you've ever wanted to learn about magnesium, how it impacts your hormones, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your everything. And it's a really great, easy read. It talks a lot about the different types of magnesium, which can really confuse people. And it talks about how much magnesium you need to get daily. And that can be found at berootedin.com/magnesium.
That's fantastic. Now, you're also on TikTok at Be Rooted In, Facebook Be Rooted In, and Instagram Be Rooted In. Natalie, thank you so much for joining us and can't wait to talk to you more in our next episode.
Thank you so much.
Listeners, this was your episode 196. In 197, Natalie will rejoin us. For now, thank you for your time. Go forth and create your magical life. Thanks for listening today. Please subscribe to hear future episodes, leave a review, and share this podcast. You can follow us on Facebook at A Magical Life Podcast or at Holistic Natural Health Australia. That's holistic with a W. You can find us on Instagram at Holistic Natural Health or at www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au. That's where you'll access all sorts of articles, freebies, and more.